Good afternoon. I'm Maya Martin, and I will be talking about how to be a successful female cross country runner. Young female runners need a nutritious diet, strong mentality, and a strong training regimen in their sport. During my freshman year of cross country, I was at a loss on why I wasn't improving. I felt like I was training harder than ever, yet my times weren't improving and were slower than my previous years. Mentally, I was at my breaking point, and physically, I was burnt out. Researchers say that female runners improve immensely between 7th through 9th, and then plateau and even decrease their times. This is due to onset of puberty and increase of estrogen. Finally, in 12th grade, girls finally improve their times and set all-time personal records. As a young athlete, I have experienced firsthand the physical and mental battles of growing up on a cross-country course. I had to learn how to feel my body and create a positive mindset. So today I will further explain the ins and outs of female cross-country runners and how to be more mentally and physically tougher. Having the right foods and enough food can greatly benefit a growing athlete. As runners, the quantity of food is just as important as the quality. As females, our nutritional intake can and should differ from males. We have specific challenges when it comes to fueling that men don't have to deal with, such as the menstrual cycle, bone health, and healthy weight. I've had many teammates lose their period while training due to their underfueling and specifically their lack of iron. Unfortunately, it is not an uncommon thing for females to have a deficiency. The most obvious way to counter an iron deficiency is to eat food high in iron. Some examples are red meat, leafy greens, beans, eggs, and even dark chocolate. However, sometimes a change in diet isn't enough. Taking iron supplements may be necessary, especially for if iron levels are already low. Stress fractures are much too common among distance runners. High mileage and overtraining often are blamed, but poor diet can also be a big problem. This is where undereating can play a huge factor. When you're not eating enough, your energy levels drop. Then it turns your estrogen levels to drop and eventually weakening your bones. Simply eating enough can go a long way. However, eating enough of the right foods can nearly eliminate the possibilities of any injuries. Fueling with carbohydrates before running helps keep energy levels higher. Eating protein after a run is essential for muscle repair and growth. Lastly, a healthy weight is difficult to maintain while partaking in a high-intensity endurance sport. The most important thing to remember is the lighter does not equal faster. Way too many young girls think they have to be their thinnest to run their fastest. While this may work for a short amount of time, it will never last in the long run. Being underweight leads to injuries, burnout, and long-term issues. According to the FISA Coaching Development Program, 20% of girls who partake in sports like cross country suffer from an eating disorder. This leads me to my next point of creating a strong mentality and maintaining good mental health. Mental toughness is important for both boys and girls in the sport. Young girls tend to struggle with their mental health more than boys do. As I previously stated, 20% of female cross-country runners have some type of eating disorder. This is largely due to the idea of distance runners being thin. Before hitting puberty, girls are improving quickly and then boom, puberty hits and the plateau begins. During puberty, women's body fat increases, which causes some girls to blame their slump from their weight. Also, during this time, girls tend to be extra emotional due to fluctuations in estrogen and proestrogen. This can cause girls to be extremely insecure about their bodies. There is no simple cure to this. The 3 things that have helped me the most are talking to people, not comparing myself to the fat girls, and hearing some other athletes about their mental health problems or journeys. My biggest struggle with running has been basing myself off of times that I've run. This can happen to any athlete in any sport, but mostly in cross country because there's so much effort and time spent in training. It is important to know that you are so much more than just a time. For me, if I had a good race, I would be happy and confident, which was great. But if I had a bad race, I was depressed and I felt like I had failed my only purpose. Eventually, I was able to separate my performances from self-worth by remembering all of the other things in my life. Remembering that racing should be fun and that a race really is just a race helps put cross country back into perspective. Training to be tough in a race isn't the only reason you're training. Obviously, you're training to have more endurance and to be faster, but consistency is key. Running for 2 weeks doesn't mean you're fast. For cross country, you have to train for months at a time. There are many websites that you can look up to find a training plan that works best for you, such as Alabama Mile Split, Runner's World, and the Run Experience. Here's an example of a running training plan. Having success as a female runner takes many steps and a lot of time. It comes with setbacks, hardships, and also so rewarding. So to the young girls running, be diligent and fierce, but don't be too hard on yourself. Racing isn't just about crossing the finish line, but discovering inner strength, pushing personal limits, and embracing the joy of running. Thank you.